ihram consists of 2 sheets like this for the brothers. And we want to talk about that especially for the brothers because it's something new and want to make sure that they're comfortable wearing it. Many times people are very scared of how they gown themselves in this, and they end up putting it so tight that it restricts their movement, or they attach so many pins and buttons to it that it can end up poking them. So inshallah, I want to show you a simplified procedure which could be of assistance for you as you set off to practice wearing the ihram. And if you have these sheets at home already, you should start practicing on a day-to-day basis, wearing them for an hour or so, walking around the house. And inshallah, I can assure you that in this manner, you'll be very comfortable, you'll be secure, and inshallah, you can even sit cross-legged in this state, inshallah. So first, you're going to do is take one of the sheets, which is the bottom one. Both are the same size, so it's regardless of whatever sheet you pick up, but we're going to focus on the bottom one. So we're going to take the sheet, we're going to wrap it around our body. We're going to wrap it around from the back of our body, and we're going to bring the both corners up, the ends, and they should meet equally on both our hands. So it shouldn't be half this way or that way. It should be around both hands, and this way should be equally divided on both sides. As for the length of it, let's try to keep it on our waistline, inshallah. Even if it's going below your ankle, don't worry about that because we're going to be wrapping it upwards. The first thing you do after wrapping around your body is to bring both ends together. So when you bring both ends together, it should be equal and even. It shouldn't be on one side or the other. Now that we see both sides are together, we'll put them to one direction. Preferably you could pull it to the right. So I'll pull it to the right here. You can see that the ihram is wrapping around my body, around my left side of the body, and it's open here on my right side. Now that it's open on my right side, I'm going to put my hand, my left hand, and apply pressure here by the abdomen, on the right side of the abdomen, and pull back with this sheet. As I pull back with this sheet, you'll see that there's 2 layers coming across now of my abdomen and my private area. And inshallah, I'm going to pull my hand here again on the far left side of my abdomen and pull back, inshallah. So that gives me 4 layers of protection. There's 2 sheets going on always. There's 3 consecutive layers, and there's actually 6 sheets in total. So it's 3 layers, 6 sheets of protection, and the movement will not allow exposure from the left, nor will it allow exposure from the right by moving or by the gesture of the wind. Now at this moment here, we're going to put our waist belt, a pouch. It shouldn't be one of the bulky ones. It should be more of the broad ones and thin ones that we could put in, again, some cash, hotel card, cell phone, anything that's of importance at this time. You can even put your passport because we're still traveling right now. And upon completing that, we'll wrap it over. Wrap the upper part over that so that we can cover that, inshallah. And once we wrap it over, this is such a thing, such a procedure that we've done, is that inshallah it is self-secure. Inshallah it will not drop or lose itself. Now I'm wearing a jubbah underneath this, but with my jubbah I could stretch as the length of my jubbah, and alhamdulillah I feel very secure. It's so secure that I could actually sit cross-legged and there will be no problem, inshallah. There'll be no fear of exposure. If a person wants to still apply a few safety pins, they may do so here in the front, but realistically speaking, inshallah, it is very firm and it's very secure. Inshallah, you may not need to do so. So once more again, let's take it off and we'll go back through the procedure once more. The undergarment, which is any of the 2 sheets, you'll grab one, you'll wrap it around your back. So bring it from your back, bring both ends forward, that the one end is on your right hand and left hand, and they're equal on both sides. Now that we see they're equal on both sides, by our waistline, inshallah, let's bring both ends together. As we bring both ends together, you'll see them coming down in the same format, and one's not up or down, and one's not in or out. They're equal on both sides. Once we do this, inshallah, we're going to flip it all over towards the right side, inshallah, so that our whole entire left side of the body is covered and the right side remains open. What we'll do next, inshallah, with our left hand, apply pressure towards the right side of our abdomen, and we'll wrap this sheet inwards. Upon wrapping this sheet inward, inshallah, we should still have some more space to apply some pressure towards the left side of our abdomen and to pull it back in. So this gives us, again, 3 layers, 6 sheets of protection, inshallah, and that should really help us. And then upon applying our belt, we'll wrap it over, inshallah, and by wrapping it over the belt, or even without the belt, this is secure as it is. So give yourself a little time to wrap it out. As you're wrapping it, inshallah, you're pulling it up from the bottom, and so inshallah you have enough space. It's above the ankles, inshallah, and always remember, the ihram has to cover one's belly button. because the belly button is part of one's awrah, which has to be covered for a man. If a person's belly button is exposed, then their satar is exposed and their prayer is not done, their tawaf is not done also. So make sure that our belly button is always covered and it's not exposed, and that's with this sheet, inshallah. Now you can see that person is in state of ihram. Once again, stretching as much as they want, as much as they stretch here. There's no chances of exposure here. And Allah forbid, if it was to wind this way, the only way the exposure could happen is if this sheet was to open very much. But it doesn't happen like that because remember, we made layers, inshallah. So the layers are there. This will allow you to walk freely, sit down without the fear of this dropping. As for the upper part of the ihram right now, what we're going to do is just wrap it around our shoulders. So we could go from just keeping around our shoulders like this, as simple as this. Or what we can do is open it up more, bring it across our shoulders, bring one side more in and one side out, and by doing this, flip it back up, and here we go, we have covered ourselves nicely and modestly. By doing it like this, it's not the modest thing to do because most of our back and our skin is exposed, and I don't think that's the right thing to do right now, so we're going to try to cover up as much as possible. So once again, bring one side more in and one out, and wrap it around your shoulders so that the whole back is kind of covered, and now we're going to flip it up. So by doing so, inshallah, we have covered our entire body, inshallah, in a modest way. That gives our arm space to do things. Our ihram comes up to here, inshallah. So minimal part of our body is exposed, but again, inshallah, overall, it's more modest to do this way. As for the ihram, as for the ihram upper cover during the time of tawaf, which we will be speaking to you about shortly, I want to go through the procedure of how that will look. So in addition to how we put it on just right now, there's going to be a slight change, and that will be the exposure of the right shoulder. And the way that could be done is very simple. You put this ihram over your shoulders again, so that both sides are there. Let's bring the right side down as much as possible, and keep the left onto our waistline. So the left end should be meeting our waistline, and the right side could be as low as possible, as long as it is. So inshallah, now that this is this way, what we're going to do is we're going to pull our right shoulder out from this ihram, and we'll grab the ihram from the bottom, and we're going to wrap it up on the left shoulder. So by doing this, inshallah, we have exposed our right shoulder, which is one of the requirements when we perform the tawaf. And every tawaf after which there is the sa'i, as in Umrah, there is iltiba and there's ramal, which means the exposure of the right shoulder, and to walk strong, which we'll talk about in the Umrah session. So once again, this will be done either when we leave our hotel Makkah towards the Haram for the Umrah, or in the Haram itself before we start the Tawaf. For that, again, once more, you're going to bring the sheets over your shoulders, bring the left side to your waistline, and the right hand will just come out and grasp the rest of the entirety of the ihram here and flip it over the left shoulder. By doing so, alhamdulillah, our right shoulder is exposed and our body is secure in this. From all angles, our body is secure. If one still desires to, one may put one or two safety pins on, but realistically speaking, you don't need the safety pin to secure it. Alhamdulillah, in this manner and procedure, it is already secure. So this is a procedure of shrouding yourselves in the garments of ihram, and I'd strongly recommend the brothers, especially those who have these sheets with them already, to start practicing this on a day-to-day basis. So it's a simplified process when the time comes for one to do it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to enter into the complete state of ihram, allow us to understand what ihram entails, the state, and allow us to perfect it. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. And lastly, one more thing, ihram is not the sheets as we spoke about, it is a condition. These sheets can be changed as much as one wants to. If a person wants to change these sheets on a day-to-day basis, or even twice a day, they may do so. Similarly, sisters, if sisters want to change their garments in the state of ihram, so long as the garments do not have perfume on them, and they're washed with simple cold water and it's clean, they can wear those clothing as many times as they want to, because ihram is not the cloth, it is a cloth defining the state that we enter to. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum.